Oh, it's chaos. And we're back at it again with more playoff talk, which PB may be the best playoffs of the winter season. I mean, I'm an NBA guy, but the NHL brings it during the playoffs, right?
Yeah, and I always say this, it's the ultimate reset from a regular season. Like it's almost nothing matters. We know that the last however many President's Trophy winners over the years at best record in the NHL have not won the Stanley Cup in like it seems like forever. So it is a reset button, and any team can win any series.
By the way, President's Cup, I should say. Um, quickly, I'll tell you right now, it's going to be a repeat. I don't see the Winnipeg Jets winning the Stanley Cup at all. We'll talk about that momentarily. But PB, let me ask you, by the way, today is April 19th. It is the official Patriots Day. 250 years ago, the Minutemen took over the British and defended our country once again. So we'll see how that plays out in the Stanley Cup playoffs. PB, let me ask you a question. Gary Bettman, Adam Silver. Gary Bettman does not get a lot of credit for what he does as a commissioner. I think he does a really good job. What do you think?
I think he does a hell of a job.
I mean, it's a better game, entertainment-wise, for the fans, but versus the overpaid whiners of the NBA. Do you agree?
100%.
And by the way, I believe Stephen A., even though he's a big NBA fan, I believe he likes Gary Bettman better than he does Adam Silver. So, all right, let's get right into this thing. Let's start with the West. Jets, we just mentioned them, the number one seed, the President's Trophy winner. They play the Blues. Any chance they lose in the first round?
No, and I think this is a sweep.
Yeah.
I think it's a sweep. I love Winnipeg. Halibut obviously is what do you call it? A UMass Lowell guy.
Yep.
He's great in net, and I think he's going to take this team pretty far this year. I also do not have them winning either, but I think they take care of St. Louis pretty easily in 4.
Sure. By the way, all right, next one, Stars and Avs. This one really could have been the conference final. So you agree?
Yeah, it could be. I love these two teams. My biggest question mark with Colorado is just their goalie. I don't know how proven he is. Blackwood, PK Subban seems to like him. I think that they have the weapons and to win. McKinnon is obviously a stud. I like Colorado in this, even though Dallas is the higher seeded team, and I like Colorado to win it at home before they have to go back to Dallas for a game 7. So I have the Colorado Avalanche in 6 in this one.
I do. Hey, you mentioned McKinnon. Don't forget a UMass guy, right? Cade McCarr, right?
Yes, yeah, he's there as
One
well.
of the best defensemen in the game today, right? So I get that winning as well. All right. Vegas versus Minnesota. Minnesota's a wild card team. Vegas, I gotta believe they handle this thing easily. Maybe it's a sweep.
Yeah, I mean, I got Vegas winning this one as well. I mean, Minnesota can play gritty at times, but here's the deal: Minnesota has the 3rd worst penalty kill in the entire NHL, not out of the teams in the playoffs, in the entire NHL.
Yeah.
So if they get in the box, if they get penalties, they're going to be in trouble, man. And Vegas, I think, is a powerhouse. We know we got our boy Jack Eichel there.
Jack Eichel, Boston boy. Yep.
Their power play is top 3 in the league as well. So if Minnesota gets penalties, this thing can easily be a sweep. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to say Vegas in 5 in this one.
All right, next is Kings Oilers. I didn't realize Kings are actually a higher seed than the Oilers going into this one, huh?
Yeah, they are. And the goalie for the Kings, Darcy Kemper, he was the goalie for the Avalanche when the Avalanche won their last Stanley Cup. So,
22, yeah.
But Edmonton, that Draisaitl and McDavid are probably the best 1-2 combination in the entire NHL. When you're talking about top 2 guys on a team, I like Edmonton in this one. I'll say in 6.
I'm with you. I got Edmonton as well. I don't even look. I think it's a sweep. All right, let's go out to the Eastern Conference. Toronto plays Ottawa in the Battle of Ontario, right? If I'm not mistaken, they're in the same. I don't even know what to call it.
Yeah. This one's interesting. I mean, I remember when the Panthers were in first place, because I like the Panthers after the Bruins. That's my team. I see a bunch of games a
Great
year.
by the
I
Panthers.
follow I follow them pretty closely. And Ottawa would have been scary to me. If we won that division and then had to play Ottawa in the first round, Ottawa to me is just this feisty, scrappy team. You would have had the Kachuk brothers, which would have been fun, right?
That would have been fun.
That would have been
Yes.
fun. But I think they hang in there with Toronto. And then of course it's like kind of like a curse on Toronto. They never seem to get they can't get out of their own way when it matters. I got Toronto win the series, but I have it going 7, believe it or not.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah.
All right. I think Austin Matthews, Mitch Marner, and John Tavares, who's going to be a free agent after this, he's playing for a contract. I think they win this thing in 5. All right, let's go to the big one. Tampa, the Battle of Florida. We had the Battle of Ontario, and now we get the Battle of Florida. Tampa Bay versus your Panthers. Panthers are the 3rd seed in this thing. Tampa Bay's the number 2.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, Matthew Kachuk's injury and them not, I know they got Brad Marchand at a good time, but he's still fitting into the puzzle there. With Kachuk out for as long as they've been out, that's obviously impacted the team, impacted their power play and things like that. So, but to your point, it's a great battle. Let's take a look. The last 5 Stanley Cups have had one of these 2 teams in it. So
Florida teams, they can't even grow ice. They got 2 teams in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Right, 5 years in a row, one of these 2 teams has been in the Stanley Cup. So I think the winner of this series is going to beat Toronto and be right back there in the finals again. So, but I like Florida. I'm going to say Florida in 6. Not to mention the fact that you got 2 of the better goaltenders in all of the NHL as well. You're talking about Bobrovsky and Vasilevsky up against each other in this one. That's a great, great battle. It's going to come down to, who really stands on their head and plays better net, I think, at the end of the day. I'm going to go Florida in 6.
Shirt you wearing?
I got
give us a flip.
Little Matthew Kachuk.
And who am I wearing?
Brad Marchand. All right.
Rats and hockey are playing together. I got Florida as well. That's gonna be epic. Tampa Bay and Florida with those 2 guys on the Florida team, epic. All right, Caps go against Minnesota. I mean, I'll just start off.
Montreal. Yeah.
Montreal. I'm sorry, Montreal. Montreal. As much as I'm disappointed, by the way, we forgot to mention this. There is no American original 6 in this NHL playoffs for the first time, I think, in 40 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
So
Wow.
the only 2 teams from the original 6 playing are Montreal and Toronto. Montreal, barely got in, but the Capitals with Ovi, who broke the record, we never thought would ever be broken. Gretzky's goal scoring record. Capitals have to win 1 series, I think. Do you agree?
Yeah, I do. I got them in 5 in this one, despite the fact that Montreal can play and they're definitely feisty, but Washington in 5.
All right, this is a good one coming up. Carolina and the Devils, man. I went back and forth on this. You're the hockey guy. You tell me, what do you think?
I went back and forth as well. The one thing about the Devils that people might not realize is they are a top 2 or top 3 team in the NHL in both the power play and in the penalty kill.
PK. Yep.
But Carolina is the best team in all the NHL on the penalty kill. So I think that this is going to come down to 5-on-5 hockey, because I think if either team gets in the box, I think they'll be okay. But 5-on-5 hockey.
Devils don't have Jack Hughes, right? He's out. Their best offensive player.
And that hurts them as well. I have Carolina, but I think this goes 7. Like I said, it's going to come down to 5-on-5 hockey and who plays better 5-on-5.
I'm with you. I got the Devils. The Carolina as well. Sorry, Hurricane. All right. So who do you got going to the Eastern Finals?
So I got Florida beating Toronto.
Okay.
I know Toronto might look like the better team on paper, but let's not forget Matthew Tkachuk's been out for a while. He makes a huge difference on that team. I think when it comes brass tacks in that series, even though Florida won't have home ice, but Toronto just has this cloud and this curse hanging over them. So they'll win their first round, but then they'll have to face Florida in the next round. And I got Florida winning that one. And then I have the Capitals beating the Hurricanes. So I have a Florida, Washington, Eastern Conference final.
As well, I do not have your Florida Panthers. I want to see one of the original 6 teams win this thing or get there anyways. I got Toronto. I'm just praying for Toronto to get there. By the way,
All
they
right.
haven't won a cup since '67. So
Right. Do you have Toronto
I get
against?
Toronto against I get Toronto against Carolina. All right, let's go out to the West.
All
Who do you got going into the West Conference Finals?
right. I got Winnipeg winning that next series. And I also have Edmonton winning that next. I get Edmonton over Vegas, which is going to be that series right there could be one of the better series that we see out
Winnipeg
throughout
beating
this.
the Avs as well.
And I got Winnipeg beating the Avs. Yeah, so I got a Winnipeg Edmonton Western Conference Finals.
You know what? I pick them every year. You know that. I got Vegas winning that series against the Oilers, but I get the Avs. I get the Avs. Cade McCarr, UMass boy, comes up big. Defense wins championships. Defensive Norris Trophy winner. Cade McCarr is going to carry the Avs to the conference finals and to the championship, I believe, in the Stanley Cup.
So you have Colorado in the finals against who?
Toronto.
Oh, all right. I got a repeat from last year. I got
You really?
I got the Panthers and the Oilers playing again
Okay.
in the
Okay.
finals. Yep. And what the heck? I might as well go. I'm going all in on Florida. I'll take Florida to repeat, and win this year. Just like I got the Celtics repeating in the NBA finals.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Panthers to
Repeats, huh?
repeat.
All right, all right. I got the Avs winning the whole thing. I got the Avs winning the whole thing.
Oh, all right. So you got the Avs over the Leafs.
Yep, for sure.
All
So
right.
Toronto
Hey,
the original six gets to the finals, but they don't win the cup. I got the Avs winning the cup again, which they won in 2022, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah. All right. So you got the Avs over the Leafs. All right. I am going to start a NHL bracket pool on ESPN in a little bit. So I'll text you when it's there so you can put your picks in. All
All right,
right.
we'll put it in, man. All right, thank you. Good show, brother.
All right. Sounds good.